Roll.
We are live. Welcome to another installment of the Final Scoop podcast, a weekly roundtable of industry-changing, game-changing, universe-altering, trend-setting podcast information, supplementation, all good things. My name is Robert Schinetsky, the supplement engineer. Joining me, as always, is my international band of brothers and troublemakers, and Lukasz, Rytkowski, Prometeus, Intelligent Sports Technology, Shane Smith, Stack.com, and Robert Samborsky, Apollon Nutrition. Welcome, my friends. How are each of you?
Good, as always.
Very good.
Shane is very serious. Like usually you look more alert and just kind of like you got like the game face on today. It seems.
I look good. Okay. I feel
well,
it's not as hot as it was last week, but
well, yeah, the past couple of weeks you've been kind of had like this. You can tell it's early for you, or like you're just a little tired, maybe, or something like that. But man, we jumped on this right now, and you've got like that stone cold killer kind of face
let's
going
put it
on.
this way: it's always early. That doesn't change.
Right.
Whether I show it or not, it is still very early for me. But I'll just make it happen.
Yeah, it's 7:11 where you are now. Sunday morning.
Fucking 6.
6 in the morning. Okay, well then, yeah, it is. That is early then. So, well, thank you for being a trooper then, Shane.
Yeah, that's nice. It's nice to hear it.
Yeah, it is. Robbie, Lukasz, anything new before we get into the affairs of the day?
Fucking Poland is playing today with Spain in soccer.
That's right. My brother was watching the Poland match the other day. Was it against Poland against Serbia?
No, with Spain.
No. I'm saying a couple of days ago Poland played, and my brother was watching the game. Were they playing
With
Serbia?
Slovakia.
Okay, yeah. What is so at one time y'all were all part of the USSR, what for better or worse. What is the mentality towards those other countries? Like, do you despise them?
Completely different. Plus, we don't like Russians at all.
Yeah.
The only thing that connects us is vodka.
That's a good one.
Yeah, Ukrainians hate Russians too. I think like most countries do.
Yeah. Very, very interesting. Sandy just finished watching a documentary, or I don't know, like a travel documentary or some kind of information or something called Hidden Poland on Amazon Prime. And she they say how Poland has kind of been reshaping its identity basically since the fall of communism, Berlin Wall came down, and all of that stuff, and how there's all these different, I guess, kind of not atmospheres, but like it's got so many different kind of regions and climates and landscapes around Poland and stuff like that. So she's fascinated by the motherland.
Yeah, you know what? Since we stepped into United Europe, things changed here for better. But nowadays, with the current government and the ruling party, everything is going down so fast. They're like trying to play with our reputation in the world. So Poland is losing in many countries, and nowadays we are basically alone, or we are standing with Hungary or like countries that we don't want to hang around. So
yeah,
it's not cool, to be honest, but
it is the way it is.
Yeah.
Which area of Poland are you in? So are you near Warsaw, or are you near like where geographically within the country?
I'm closer to Poznan. It's like 100 kilometers up north.
Okay, so you're more to the northern side of the country than middle or southern?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'm going to have to go back and watch the documentary and see if they cover that area, because she watched it, I don't know, Tuesday or Wednesday night, and when I was doing some work. So for the listeners tuning on the live stream, thank you all very much for tuning in. We're live on YouTube and Twitch. If you like what we're doing, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share the video with family, friends, and loved ones. You have any comments, questions, queries, or quips for us to answer over the course of the next 2 hours that we're on, feel free to throw up anything and everything. We have a bunch of topics to tackle from last week's live Q&A session, so we'll get those all answered this week, and anything else. It could be diet supplementation training, or just like what's your favorite movie, what does Robbie like to do on the weekends, is like long walks on the beach, warm bubble baths, and all of those kind of things when he's having his toes sucked by a cat. All kinds of weird things. All right, Brooke, yes, and so it does begin. I just wanted to follow up to give a huge thanks to you, Robert. Those goodies were things I actually always wanted to try. You are welcome, Brooke. Happy to send you the goodies and spread some of the supplement goodness around.
Yeah, I wanted to jump on and just say that your package group left. I wanted to ship myself, but the post lady said that I don't fit to any of the parcels. so I'm sorry about that. But some goodies were included, so I hope you enjoy. But the package will probably travel a bit longer due to the COVID restrictions and so on. So we got like postal delays. So yeah, but it was shipped. So I hopefully it will get to your place quickly.
There we go. Well, that reminds me. Okay, so Russian mail order brides are something that like movies have always kind of hinted at, and like they used to make fun of it on TV sitcoms or something. So they had the Russian mail order brides. Maybe we need to start up the Polish mail order groom service, and you can be like the poster child for it, Lukasz.
No worries, I'm down for that.
You down for that? That'll work. I'm good with that.
Yeah, man.
All right. Before we get into the questions, let's. I'm gonna clear up a couple of things real quick, and we can open this. I don't want this to dominate the whole show, and I really don't even want to. I was perfectly fine to kind of let this just be a dead issue as it is, but there's some things I don't think are handled in the best light, and Robbie knows exactly what I'm talking about. As all of you do. For listeners, the Massive Iron supplement line will not going to be continuing. At least my involvement in it will not be continuing. I'm pretty sure Steve is done with it as well. The past couple of weeks, so we started doing these lives for over a year now. We were doing the Massive Iron lives, Q&As every Friday, and they were going like 2-3 hours long. We had a good time. We built out a Super Living Today membership site, which had a forum, and so that we had low to moderate success with people coming in on that. A lot of times they would just jump on, download all the training programs Steve had and got rid of it. But we had a supplements forum and all of those kind of things. We were kind of in the midst of retooling that. We had filmed some master classes together, filmed some nutrition seminars that were on his site that were up for sale. And then about 4 weeks ago, I get a text from Steve saying, "Hey, I'm really stressed. I just need to keep it time right now. I've got a lot of commitments on." And he said, don't worry about this. I'm just going to do it solo today, and that frees you up. And he sent me that, an hour or two before the live went on. The second week that followed up, the exact same thing. He lets me know, 45 minutes before we go on, he says, "I don't want you to panic, but I have to do the live again solo. Stress is getting to me. Please don't take this personally, but I need to keep it. This has nothing to do with you. I just need to keep it about 60 to 90 minutes for a while." And immediately I told Sandra, I said, I'm not doing the live again this week. And she said, "Something's up, Robert. That doesn't make any sense that he can do the live and not with you and only keep it to 90 minutes. He said that all you have to do is just tell people, look, we're cutting it off after an hour and a half today. I got to get shit done like I'm doing with you today. I've got to be out of here by 3 o'clock so we can go do my halfling's birthday party. I didn't cancel the podcast and kick you guys off. Say, guys, I'm just doing it by myself today." So, I thought Steve and I had something good building. The third week came around. All I get from a message was, "Hey, I'm still running the live solo. Please don't take this personally. But it's just, I've got to be done and that's it. We'll set up a time next week to talk." I said, "Steve, if you need help, you're stressed. If it's clients that are burdening you, let me help you. I'm here to do that," because we had talked about starting up a coaching service together. Then I haven't really had any communications from him in the interim. He goes and does the Massive Iron Live Q&A last week and says, somebody asks a question of, "Hey, where's Robert?" And Steve just said, "Look, I'm not gonna avoid it. You can go look up the video. I've got it pulled up right here. I can play it for you if you want." Says, "Look, it's a good thing Robert and I had. It's a good thing. It's just I'm at a point now where I can't spend 3 hours on YouTube anymore, and so I'm going to talk to Robert and we'll figure something out." That didn't transpire. So then this past week, yesterday, he does another live Q&A and says, somebody asked, "Where's Robert?" Steve said, "I don't know. Robert, he just up and disappeared. I mean, he dropped off Instagram and he's disappeared. So I don't know. Maybe you can send him an email or find him on YouTube or something." And he knows goddamn well that's a falsehood because we text all the time. He knows exactly where I am. He knows my abhorrence for social media platforms, Instagram, Facebook. I have no desire to be on them. My business isn't tied to being any of that. And so, the fact that he's trying to go and I wouldn't have said any of this out loud publicly because I do not like to be involved in industry drama. I do not like to be involved with any of these kind of shenanigans. You have a personal problem, you have issues with a business, keep it on the business. But the second you try to impugn my character and make me seem like I'm the one dropping the ball and making me look like a slacker, I got a big fucking problem with that. So, that was it. And so Steve said, "Look, if I took the same stance as you about Instagram, I would lose a lot of income." He says, "You're making me drive the bus even more at a time when I said I was out of time. At this point, I'm selling those for the creatine and pulling out." To which I responded a very, very long post to Steve, a very long message on WhatsApp saying, Steve, it feels like you've been elbowing me out of this for a while. You've been cutting me off the last minute from these live Q&As. I've invested over a year building this stuff up with you, investing my time. Didn't ask for any payment. I really enjoy doing this stuff. I appreciate you. You've given me a lot of great advice. If he hadn't been the one to tell me to start freelancing more, I'd probably still be writing a price blog making 2 cents a word right now. So he was a very, very good friend, mentor, somebody I leaned on, somebody I would go to for career advice on all this other stuff. But when you start putting out these kinds of, you are misrepresenting what's actually going on, that's where I got a big fucking problem with it. So that's clear the air. There is no bad blood with me and Steve this way. I'm leaving it that way. I sent him the message saying, I don't appreciate this. Best of luck with everything. But the lines of crap you were feeding me is about why you weren't having me on the live Q&A and the answers you're giving for why I'm not on there anymore. It's not because I disappeared or I did anything like that. I've been here the entire fucking time. You know goddamn well where I am. I've offered help. I've offered to help you with coaching clients. I set up and broker the introductions for the manufacturing, for the supplement line, did the formulas. Any step of the way where you said you were stressed with something, I was offering to help. Don't go on your channel and for the live Q&As when you've told. And also, don't not tell the people listening saying, hey, I told Robert he couldn't come on this week because I just don't have time and I feel like it's taking too long with him on there. You say anything you want to, but don't misrepresent the facts and just say, well, Robert disappeared. I don't know what happened to him. So, yeah, that's it for everything. I have very many other projects that I'm excited working on. Robbie and I have some cool stuff brewing with Apollon. I've got some other stuff working with Condemned Labs and a few other clients. I don't know if I can actually give away their names right now, but there is a lot of good things to come. So I just wanted to straighten up any misconfusion. I have not dropped off the face of the earth. Sane and I have been doing regular live Q&As every week, just like we are. Justin and I are going to start doing probably a weekly thing again. I was talking to Gerhard yesterday. He's got some cool things in the works. We've been doing live Q&As. The Supplement Engineer podcast has been going for 2.5 years strong. I didn't drop off the face of the fucking earth. My life isn't on social media. I don't make my business on social media. So to try and cite that as the reason of making him drive the bus and take the lead on everything is total horseshit. You don't want me on the channel. That's fine. You don't want to do the supplement industry anymore. That's fine. We always said we weren't trying to do this to be millionaires. We wanted to make some cool products. And if it didn't sell really fast, then we just weren't going to do it. And just, if that's fine, but don't misrepresent it and say, I'm making you do all the work or I just dropped off the face of earth and not do that. I've been working the entire fucking time. Sorry. I'm done now, so we can move on to happier things, gentlemen.
Wait.
Robic?
No.
Remember what I told you?
I couldn't resist. Number one, I was falling asleep because fucking went to boxing this morning, and I feel like I have a fucking concussion or something. I guess my oxygen is not at the level that I want to be. It's getting old and shit. But yeah, everything. I'm very, very happy, to be honest, Robert, that you brought it up, and I would be very upset if you didn't, because honestly, I feel like you've been taking advantage. I don't know, Steve, so I never talk negatively about people that I don't know because simply I don't know. However, based on what I heard and based on what I've seen, I did look into his podcast, the one that you just mentioned, just out of curiosity. Because you're not somebody who I consider you a friend first and foremost, and I know that I've seen the formulas. We've seen the formula of the pre-workout, in initial stages. Creatine looked also awesome. I know how passionate you are about this, and it's for you. It's more than just about money. I know that, and that's what we have in common. You really are passionate about the industry. You like it. You like everything that has to do with it, and I think that that's why we click so well. Nevertheless, I think what Steve did is a dick move. That's my personal opinion. Just because I don't know the reasons for it. I don't know the reasons. Clearly, he has reasons. Maybe he didn't have it in him to promote it. Maybe he had a change of heart. Maybe, he thought of something else. But in my opinion, always that people can part ways. There is nothing wrong with it. For whatever reason, even if one of us ever wanted to not do the final scoop, all it takes is just, because all of us are friends, all it takes is just say, guys, for whatever reason, I won't be able to continue. No hard feelings. It is what it is. And that's it. And I think that's cool. I think that's part of life. Yeah. There is nothing wrong with it. But when you start to disappear, when you start to make excuses, number one, the fact that you're not on Instagram, that's your personal choice, and you're entitled to it. I know that you're not on Instagram, so the only thing that's missing from my relationship with you on Instagram is that I don't tag you. That's it, because you're not there. But if I need you, I know your phone number just like Steve knows. That doesn't hurt the final scoop. That doesn't hurt my relationship, my friendship with you. Your Instagram posts and presence are totally entirely up to you. Is it
and
good
I
for
hardly ever used it. I mean,
is it good for business?
Many years ago, under his recommendation, a few other people saying, "Hey, build your brand out." I just have zero interest in doing it. No, I've never gotten a single client be for ever using that, or because I've had a Facebook since its inception back in 2004. I don't see the utility just for me personally. That's not the way I enjoy doing business. It can be phenomenally successful for some people, and people that can use it to their benefit, great for them. I've got zero interest or desire to use any of those platforms.
You know what? I talked to a friend of mine yesterday, and she told me, well, kind of like brought it up about, there are still people in the world who write letters to each other, like physical letters.
Yeah.
And, I kind of like giggled at first, and then I thought to myself, and why not? It's a personal choice how we communicate and how we talk to each other, whether it's through text messaging. I know some people don't like to talk on the phone. They prefer text messages.
Yeah.
There are others that actually, communicate. I have friends that I know their numbers, but for whatever reason, they only communicate with me either through Instagram or through Messenger. It's the preferred choice. So that's not an excuse, but I think, you know what? At the end, and I'm not going to bash him or talk negatively about him, but for you personally, considering that the brand was in initial stages, I think this is the best way to do it, and I think you're better off. And you know what? You saw his true colors, and like I said, like you said, you have a lot of projects pending and stuff like that, and whether you're going to be back on social media or not, it's totally up to you, and you do whatever's best for you. You're an adult, you make your own decisions, and that's it. But I think, I actually want to congratulate you on this, because I think that whatever happens, I think happens for the best.
Yeah, and I don't like getting in all of this stuff, and I wouldn't have said, I'm like, if we just want to say, hey, part ways and be fine like that, but when you start misrepresenting the facts and trying to put it on me saying that's where I'm going to draw a hard line in the sand, say, that's not the way it is.
If somebody addresses or bashes or speaks negatively about you in the open, your brand, your name, your reputation, your integrity are definitely under attack, and some people might believe that bullshit, and that's never good. It's these things should always, even if somebody doesn't like each other, they should be done in private. I firmly believe people should break up. They should, break their businesses and stuff like that, but everything should be done respectfully, and it should be done privately. There is no need to burn bridges. I'm a firm believer in that. However, if somebody attacks your character, your business, your reputation, then gloves are off.
Yeah, and I mean, I was very professional in the way I responded to Steve. I said best of luck with everything, and I disputed what he said, that I was making him drive the bus or all that stuff. I don't want to get into that. I don't want to read it and air that all the dirty laundry, because it's not necessary. But I did want to correct some of those falsehoods that were put out there. So, yeah, so we can move on to bigger, better, more enjoyable topics.
Let's go.
Brooke, Lukasz, thank you. I want to say that we can fit you in a box. Don't let the post office tell you how to live your life. Amen to that, Brooke. Yeah, Lukasz, we'll find a way. We'll find an extra special Polish size box for you.
Yeah, heavyweight pigeon or something.
Yes. Or do you identify as a Polish person? Polish man, do you identify as Polish? Or do you identify?
Yeah, of course, I'm proud of that. Proud of being Polish.
Sups on deck. When is the ingredient panel going to drop for Assassin version 7, Robbie?
I believe sometimes next week, Shane will reveal the panel and all the details.
Drop the hammer.
Yeah. More podcasts? Hell yeah. Yes, exactly. More in the works. I'm going to back the brains, not the pretty face.
I don't know if that's like a compliment.
Well, I do my best. I'm working on this useful beauty. Maybe I'll start wearing some makeup or some eyelid liner or something like that. Not really.
You need some CBD or GABA.
There we go. Yeah, so let's talk about that, Lukasz. That could be, before we jump into some other questions, that's something new you've been experimenting this week, was the GABA.
Yeah.
So how much, go ahead and just, I guess, tell everybody what you're doing as far as the protocol, where you first got the idea to do it, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, you know what? I was like just googling as usual, and just found some research, and I started to like dig up more and more and more, and and after like few publications, I decided to give it a go.
Yeah,
I'm still not believer, but at the same time, after like few days, I feel so good that I just wanted to share the protocol with you guys, and decided to like WhatsApp you on the forum and just let you know my thoughts. So yeah, I've been using GABA for past like 4 or 5 days now, I believe. The protocol is pretty simple. So I take 1 gram before training, 1 gram after training, and 2 grams before bedtime. My protocol is that I'm doing time restricted feeding. So basically, I try to fast every day for like, it depends on my schedule and work days and so on. But it's around like from 16 to like 18 hours. So once I wake up every day at 5 a.m., I go straight to the gym, work out. After that, I go back home, do my thing, start to work, and then I eat my first meal. So it takes a while, but usually it's around 10 a.m. when I like break my fast with my first meal, which is my post-workout meal as well. So I have a plenty of time till I get my GABA and so on. But for this past 4 days, I really enjoyed the effects. The first thing what I've noticed was the calmness. I was super calm at the gym. I was not aggressive at all, but at the same time I was super dry. And I was like, it's not that I was like focused or anything like that, but it's definitely this different feeling. So
yeah,
I've noticed it straight away that it's something different, And post training, I've noticed as well, calm, super relaxed, just like nice vibes,
Yeah.
You love people basically. When I was like going back home, I was like, oh, life is beautiful, everything is awesome. So yeah, man, it was like
I
it
need
was
to,
so
I need to
good.
take some of that.
Yeah, it was so damn good, Like, it was like just 1 gram. So I was like, yeah, what's going on?
Yeah.
And at first I thought it was like just like placebo effect or something, but the situation repeated itself for like past 4 days now, and I sleep like a baby. After like 2 grams, I just like knocks me the F down, and at the same time, my Fitbit, because I wear my Fitbit every day, so it scans my, sleep and so on.
Right.
All the markers improved as far the deep sleep and the REM sleep as well. So yeah, so far so good. I've been loving it, and it's just like less than a week now, but I'm really excited about it, this experiment. So yeah, man.
Yeah, cool. And so that's what was one of the things, because I know you track most of your data, and I was assuming that were you able, was it showing? Because we typically see GABA as in sleep aids, or I think Shane has maybe touched on this. Like you take too large of a dose of GABA, and it feels like there's depressed breathing or something. Is that you that said that, Shane?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Somewhere around like maybe 3 to 5 grams. I think I've had that. I mean, it just happens almost every time. But if it's a small dose, it doesn't it just doesn't happen at all.
Okay. But yeah, that's interesting, Lukasz. I wanted to see how it would affect your sleep numbers, if anything. As far as
I can definitely provide you the full data, because I'm just like testing all my markers as far as from blood to to sleep. So yeah, man, if you need any additional data, I can provide you, no problem at all.
That could be a cool thing. We could do I don't know, we could do like a case study or something. We can put it up on the Supplement Engineer website, and we can just kind of get a track of your data, and we can make like a little running of it just to kind of see, supplements in practice.
Yeah, man, I'm down for that.
Okay, cool. We'll talk more offline about that, and then I don't want to go down the wormhole. One of the things, and so for the listeners might be wondering, why the hell would you even think about taking GABA pre or post exercise or anything like that? There's a 2019 study that is titled Oral Supplementation Using GABA and Whey Protein Improves Whole Body Fat-Free Mass in Men After Resistance Training. So what they did is they had a group of 21 healthy men and gave one group either 10 grams of whey protein or the other group 10 grams of whey protein plus 100 milligrams of GABA. And it showed that growth hormone concentrations were higher in the whey protein and GABA group after 12 weeks of training compared to the whey protein only group. And so they said the GABA and whey protein combination was more effective for increasing whole body fat-free mass. Daily GABA supplementation may enhance exercise-induced muscle hypertrophy. The interesting thing here, let me share my screen, and we can kind of take a second to go through this study for everybody. And let me know if it doesn't show up properly. Okay, here we go with that. Okay, so the key thing here is that it shows there's a couple of things that immediately jump to mind. First off, they're using I would term it a suboptimal dose of protein. So usually you want somewhere between 20, 25, 40 grams of whey protein post-training because that maximally stimulates muscle protein synthesis in the body, and there's not much to supplementing over and above that. Like it's mTOR and all of that is maximized at probably like that 40 gram cutoff range. So anything above and beyond that's just going to get metabolized and converted to something else. So I find it interesting in this study that they didn't at least use 20 grams. I'd be very curious to see what the difference in the gains were with maybe 25 grams of protein versus 25 grams of protein plus the 100 milligrams of GABA. But at least they had, it wasn't just a placebo. It was whey protein and GABA against, just whey protein. So that's a good thing right there.
Yeah.
But digging through the data, the total protein intake for these guys is horrendously low. Like average day, they're only taking 75 grams of protein per day plus or minus 24. So they could be taking as low as 50 grams of protein and as high as 100 grams of protein.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really, really low on the spectrum. How much were these guys weighing? What was their average body weight? Press body composition. So they're barely eating 1 gram per kilo of body weight of protein when typical recommendations are 2.2 grams per kilo to, or anywhere between, 1.8 to 2.2. So, I mean, they're below the optimal daily dose of protein for maximizing muscle growth. And then the other thing is this. It said whey protein plus GABA group exhibited greater increases in whole body fat-free mass than the whey protein group. But there was no significant group difference in arm or leg lean mass after 12 weeks. So that's what I'm curious about. So the whey plus growth hormone group gained more fat-free mass, but they didn't necessarily gain more muscle. So does that mean they're just storing more glycogen possibly? So the growth hormone isn't necessarily, or the GABA, which is increasing the growth hormone concentrations, is it making your body just enhancing glycogen storages? Because it's not actually increasing the biceps or the quad size, and those were the main exercises that they were doing in here was leg press.
You know what? Maybe at some point it can, because as we all know, the growth hormone can increase your insulin sensitivity in your muscles. So that's probably why you stored a bit more like more nutrients in the muscles instead of fat. So maybe that's why.
And I think that because that's a very, I guess, key point to understand is that yes, they got better fat-free mass, but their actual muscle size, the lean mass, arm and leg lean mass wasn't totally different, although maybe they got more gains in their chest and back or something because they did a leg press, a leg extension, a leg curl, a chest press, and a pull down were the 5 exercises they did for doing their strength testing.
Yeah,
it's interesting. It's interesting, but this
is
is
the reason why they would feed them less protein. Is it like it leaves it more room to show how much it works, or?
Let me see if I can pull up where it said about for as far as the diet stuff. Maximal strength, dietary intake. There were no significant intra-group or intergroup differences in dietary intake values. So baseline energy intake for the whey protein group was 2,100 calories per day plus or minus 1,000. So you could have had some people eating only 1,100 calories, and some people eating upwards of 3,100 calories. That's
So some people may be on a deficit, and some may be on calorie like mass building phase or something like that, right?
yeah. I mean, that's weird. I wish the diets were a little bit tighter control. That could have helped too.
Olympus put GABA in their protein, didn't they?
Yeah, it did. Yeah, and this was the study that they were citing on it, because pharma-GABA, the same form of GABA that they had in that protein, performed this study.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense.
Yeah. So I mean, it's the same kind of this study in particular reminds me a lot of the velocitol data. So it increases protein synthesis. What was it, like 200% or 100% or something like that?
Doubles the power of your protein.
Right. But you look at the studies, and it says even the researchers say we're using a suboptimal dose of protein. They were feeding people 6.5 or like 6.25 grams of whey protein, and then you saw that huge thing. So maybe those other things are helping you get more from a suboptimal amount of protein, so where it could be beneficial maybe in a vegan protein powder, or if you do like an EAA formula or something like that. But if you're giving somebody a high quality form of protein, like if they given these subjects 25 grams of protein, I don't know if you would see that much more benefit. Or if you took, the 2.5 grams of velocitol with a 25 gram scoop of whey protein, are you really going to see that much more? Is it actually going to double the power of whey protein? It's all in regards to a suboptimal dose. I'm not saying it's good or bad. It's just it's interesting stuff that I would like to see further explored.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit inconclusive, because at the end of the day, we don't know, we don't know the all the details about these individuals. Like, we don't know, like, maybe some of them are taking creatine, maybe some of them don't. Maybe some of them take, because it doesn't specify, anabolics, maybe some don't. I mean, we really don't know all the ins and outs. I mean, obviously, the body types, the genetic pool. There are so many variables that go into it that these studies, I mean, you really have to monitor it and to see, I think, a little bit more, and it has to be a little bit more conclusive. It just, I think that it's, I think it's definitely positive, but it's not, it's not something that you can like firmly say that this is accurate.
Yeah. It says we included 26 healthy, physically active Japanese men who did not exercise regularly. That doesn't make sense. Physically active men that don't exercise regularly, well, then they're not physically active.
Well, but also look at the ages, 26 to 48. 26-year-old man has a lot more on average testosterone and, hormonally superior to somebody who is 48 or 46.
Right.
I mean, it's just, they not average. 26 and 48, definitely not, you can't put them under the same umbrella. They're completely different.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely think it's an interesting concept. I want to see it further studied. Like, I want to see it. Like, this is what I love about the supplement. Like, I'm kind of conflicted, because overall, I don't think the quality of the study is all that great, but the concept that they are investigating, I think, is really cool. So could there be some other things that we could use in combination, with whey protein to potentiate its effects further? So we know resistance training does a really good job of stimulating protein synthesis in the body, as does the ingestion of protein. And then when you combine those two, you get an additive effect. Is there something else we could add to those two factors to even amplify the gains even more? And so maybe doing some GABA could, but again, the study had a fairly wide gap. It didn't really control for diet. They weren't resistance trained individuals. They weren't consistently training, and they used a suboptimal dose of protein. So, if we can increase, optimize around those four factors in a future study, I would love to see that and see if it's possible. So
I saw some papers that were without whey protein, just GABA, pre and post training.
Mm-hmm.
So I will provide it to you post podcast. But what interests me as well is this correlation. And I also think that it's cool to experiment, to do this kind of research.
Absolutely.
Plus, what I think that. My protocol is a bit different, because I'm doing the fasting training, and I think that by fasting for like 16 hours, post night, and going straight to the gym, my growth hormone bit will be probably elevated, and due to training, it will also increase. So with the GABA, maybe it will also get increased. So it's something to reconsider. But yeah, I like to experiment with myself. So using different dosages, different types of ingredients. So yeah, I'm excited about it.
Yeah, it's fascinating stuff. I mean, like Lukasz, you remarked on how chill and calm and just happy you were with it. Doses as low as 28 milligrams have shown to have a calming effect on there. I'm trying to see what some of the other doses, like the doses I'm used to seeing in sleep, are like between 1 and 3 grams.
Yeah, like as I said, before bed, you definitely can feel the calmness effect, and the relaxation definitely kicks in.
Mm-hmm.
But early in the morning when I take my 1 gram, I feel sharp.
Yeah.
I don't feel like sleepy or anything like that. I remember like we revisited one time a pre-workout that had GABA in it.
Mm-hmm.
I remember we did it on the podcast, and I was like laughing my ass off because I said, GABA, what the hell? It's like theanine. It will like get me sleep. But now I think that there's something in it. So yeah, man.
Yeah.
Isn't GABA the one that's used for ADD? Like they prescribe it at high doses?
Do they? That's interesting. Let me look that up and see.
I remember looking it up, and they were saying that it goes as high as 10.
10 grams?
Yeah.
Low GABA levels are associated with
that's
ADHD.
probably spreading through the entire day, right? Not one dose. Sure.
I don't know. I just remember looking it up because I know it's illegal in New Zealand.
GABA is illegal?
Yeah. It's like a Class C drug or some shit.
Interesting.
But that's kind of why I stumbled across it, because it is GABA, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
GABA. That they were prescribing for ADD.
Whoa, fascinating. I mean, there's some studies I'm looking through right now. It says
I thought it was ADHD because it was the calmness.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you go to sleep, because it doesn't. I've never had that. It hasn't really ever made me tired, but the act of making you relaxed at nighttime would make you tired anyway. So that's why my perception was always that it just made you like relaxed. And when I read the ADD thing, I was like, well, that makes sense, because that's what they would probably need, was to calm down.
Right. Calm down, yeah.
Or just like think slower or less. And that's why I was like, oh, that's probably why it's for sleep. This is the shit I looked up like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
I was like, I never used 10 grams. I think the highest I went to was 4 or 5 or some shit.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't notice too much difference between 3 and 5, at least at the end of the day.
I between 1 and 3 made me very, very relaxed and calm, and I think personally, I think it's great, for sleep. I remember combining it with valerian root, and I really, really enjoyed it a lot. But I think I went to 5 once, and I think what Shane said, it made me feel kind of like that. I would say like. As much as I don't want to use the word, but it was closer to depressed, like really, really down, and kind of. I wasn't sleepy. I was more like weak and tired, and just like didn't feel like doing shit. And it was like I said, it was kind of like a depressed kind of a feeling where you just want to sit down and to be left alone. I can't say that it was a good feeling, but I definitely wasn't like sleepy. Just like seriously was exhausted. But 1 to 3 grams, I felt like, it helped me relax, calm, and I think helped me sleep. So I really enjoyed it. Like, I think it's a very, very relaxed. Again, that's the way it worked for me. Yeah. But going past 3, somebody mentioned 5, and I think I tried 5 once, maybe twice, and didn't like it at all.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to experiment with it some more. Robbie, for the sleep formula we were working on, did we put GABA in there or not?
Yes. Yeah.
You got some in there?
Yeah.
Okay. We're going to have to revisit that one and see. What is going on, Sean? Hello to my favorite folks. Lukasz, it's soccer day. Or do you say soccer or you say football?
Soccer.
You say soccer? Okay.
Yeah.
Traitor.
Where's your
You know what it is, Lukasz. You know what it is.
I'm kidding. It's football. It's all
everybody calls it fucking football.
Always
Yeah.
was and always will. Football. We don't use the word soccer.
The S word.
Europe.
Y'all don't
Yeah.
use the S word.
Definitely don't use it in the UK.
I don't have a T-shirt. Plus, as far as like football, I'm not a big fan. So
I gotcha. There we go. Brooks switched over to Twitch now, which reminds me, everybody. So I said earlier we're streaming on YouTube and Twitch. For any of the listeners that are trying to submit questions, if it doesn't seem like it's populating in YouTube, jump on over to the Twitch side. That seems to be less restrictive as far as getting your questions into the feed and all of that stuff. We're talking about pretty faces, Shane, is what Brooke is referencing. Pretty faces for the podcast. You said it was a compliment, Shane. I meant that a brand should be carried by the formulations, not the models. You are all beautiful. My eyes burn with the beauty.
God damn.
That's what I'm talking about. That is what I'm talking about.
God damn.
Yeah, buddy.
Sprinkle.
Thoughts on cupping?
I mean, what are we talking about here?
Yeah. I wanted to ask exactly the same question.
Cupping, what are we talking
Yeah,
about?
we talk about what are we talking about? Is this one of them questions, or is this something else?
We're going to let you lead off the response. What do you think of it when we talk about cupping? Are you a fan of cupping?
I'm immediately thinking of cupping someone's nuts, but I don't know what. That's what I don't know. I'm assuming they're talking about the cupping as in the
Medical.
shit. Yeah, the sports
Therapy time.
Yeah, I've never done that. Cupped my own nuts, but either way.
You're a
Yeah,
fan.
but you know what? The cupping of the nuts is also like a treatment at some point.
Yeah, it's therapeutic.
Keeps you calm.
Yeah. Either both ways help.
I would actually argue that it's a better therapeutic version than the one that I think Sean implies. Well,
Depends who's doing it.
That's true. That's true.
Very true.
It can be.
The amount of pressure applied to, you got to have just the right amount of suction in there and just the right,
If you cupped, because if it was just some random person cupping my nuts, be all tense, it wouldn't be relaxed. Yeah,
that's the area you want to be very, very gentle with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
instead of hands, what about glass bulbs that are heated? Does that cupping feel better? Would you feel better with glass bulbs doing the
What
cupping?
the fuck are you
instead of a
talking
hand?
about? Oh, is that what they use for the sports one?
Yeah, I think,
Oh.
you know what? I mean,
I had no idea.
oh yeah, I think everybody. I mean, you go on social media. Not that Robert would know anything because he doesn't have one, but I mean, on social media, pretty much everybody does the cupping, not the good one that Shane implied, but the more traditional one that is meant for Instagram only. And I see everybody's doing it, but the thing is, not to offend anyone, but athletes are like sheep. One person is doing it and everybody is following it. I mean, it doesn't really matter whether it's beneficial or not. Most people will say it's beneficial and they get something out of it, even if they don't. I think it was done to me once when I was a kid, when I was a child. But I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I prefer the sexual cupping, to be honest. I think it's just more therapeutic, and you definitely get some kind of a outcome out of it. There is almost a guaranteed result, but with this, I don't know. All you do is
Not if you take lines, man. Not if you take lines.
Yeah, but with this one, you walk around like a fucking tiger on your back, like fucking spots and shit. You look stupid, like somebody painted you and did the very poor job. But the cupping in a more traditional sexual 1,000-year-old way, I think you get more of a benefit, definitely outcome, and both partners can be benefit from it. You were talking about protein intake. Here you go. What? The fuck is...
The protein intake is probably a bit much.
Well, I didn't say suck your own dick, but I mean...
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Shit, I just realized my daughter is watching this sometimes.
She is?
Unfortunately, yes. Shit. All right.
She's of an age. She's older, on the older end of the spectrum.
Oh yeah, she knows that shit.
And she lives with you. She knows what you're like on a day-to-day basis.
She's used to hearing more complicated things than cupping. and I mean in a more traditional way. Sean, any other questions regarding cupping, sucking, and other
and outcomes?
And outcomes.
Yeah, because I've never had the cupping done. I do use that, the Theragun thing.
Oh,
massage thing. That shit I actually really think I like.
Yeah. Well, I mean, just from like the scientific nerdy kind of point of view, I think the benefits of cupping is it increases like circulation of that area. So I don't like removing toxins and all like the frou-frou granola shit that they promote about it, but it actually increases circulation there, gets more blood flow, nutrient delivery, all that kind of stuff. So that could, facilitate greater recovery. But do I think it's like magically like whisking like bloodletting or something, like putting leeches on you? Or sometimes they have this wet cupping thing where they'll do like small incisions and try to bleed out the toxin. That won't do. But the act of like actually like getting the suction on there and then taking it off forces this rush of blood to the site that could help with it. So
I thought that was the whole idea. Is there another way that?
No, I mean that's the main thing of it.
Oh yeah, that's how I understood it.
You don't cut the skin.
In some old practices of it, there is wet cupping where they used to do like a small incision and let a little bit of blood pool on it. Yeah.
Hell no.
Yeah, exactly.
In Poland, I remember they did the cupping for the ill people. So they basically did it only on the back. Yeah. And they used the fire and
it burns off all the oxygen in there, creates that suction effect. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And then as it cools, the pressure changes and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Brooke's sister is a cupping specialist. She's also a masseuse. She says that people really see benefits from cupping, especially athletes with tight muscles. There we go.
But I would have thought it's just the result of, again, bringing circulation to the area. Because I thought that was kind of the whole idea behind massage as well, would be to loosen up, but also bring attention from the body.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, if you've got the money and the time to try cupping, go for it. I mean, it sounds you can even try it. But it's I'm a fan of the foam roller.
It's the same thing as the what's that electric thing, and you put it on and it kind of they would attach the TENS machine.
I don't know what kind of kinky stuff you're into, Shane. I mean,
I know what you're talking about.
You must have come across it. They recommend it for pregnant women as well, to help relax the back muscles when they do. When my wife was, I think they were using it. It's kind of like to relax for contractions or some shit. I know that they recommended it. Obviously not at the later stages, but earlier and near the end. They and that's the whole concept as well. Is much the same as like they would pretty much whatever muscle you'd attach it to, it would kind of send mild little shocks to it, and then
like a TENS unit? Is that what you're saying? A TENS unit?
Yeah, that's what I said. A TENS machine.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I didn't hear you say that.
Yeah. Same kind of philosophy thing, but because I remember I was with my my father-in-law, and his mum has it. She's old as hell, and he was like, "Oh yeah, she puts her feet on. It's like one of those feet machines, and she has to turn it up really high." And I'm like, "Well, of course she has to turn it up high because she's old as fuck." But he was saying how like her pain tolerance must be real high, and I was like, "It's not that it's fucking high. So she has absolutely zero feeling in her feet, whereas a younger person obviously has circulation."
Yeah.
But I always thought those were the ideas behind all of those methods, was to just hammer the muscle, bring focus from your body to it to just help with recovery.
Yeah. sounds like witchcraft to me. Who even came up with the idea? I have no idea. Or like the Theragun. Who would have thought of the Theragun or any of the other weird little personal torture devices that get created?
The Theragun makes sense. It's just a massage gun.
Yeah.
But the cupping thing, I reckon, maybe back in the day someone was doing like giving like a hickey or something. I don't know. You know, somewhere on the body. And then the next day they were like, damn, I feel way better today in that area. You know? And then cupping was born. Who knows?
Sups on Deck is not a fan of cupping. He prefers deep tissue massages. Yields more benefits than cupping. It could. And if you go to the right masseuse, it could definitely lead to better endings and better outcomes.
It's all about the outcome.
Kuntal. I could easily pull that off by including tofu, tempeh, seitan, fake meats, lentils, pea, rice blend, protein powders, etc. I think he's referring to the low protein intake from the GABA and whey protein study that we were talking about. But I mean, you could easily get enough protein in a day doing a vegan diet, especially if you got some decent plant proteins in there or plant protein powders. But I mean, 70 grams, it's still, I mean, that's just super low.
Wow.
Even for women.
It's always funny to me when vegans say fake meat.
Yeah, I'm just curious. Like, you're trying to eat as super whole and clean, as food diet as possible. Then you're willing to go for these hyper processed fake meats. Why not just, if you've got concerns about the ethical way that animals are raised, or you don't want an animal harm, what about something like free range chicken or grass fed beef or something like that? Something like these like pasture raised animals. Are you okay eating those kind of meats? Is that, and that's just a kind of a question in general for everything. What if you raised a cow on your own? You let it just out to pasture, and then you just got the milk from it. Is that, and it's living a nice, happy life, eating grass and whatever the hell else, daisies and whatever the hell fuck cows eat. And you just you just got out there and you milked it.
Milk it up.
So I don't know. That's always an interesting discussion I would like to have.
I agree. I think that would be a phenomenal discussion because I mean. You obviously, we all fans of bodybuilding, and when it comes to bodybuilding, it always like made me think about this, like, who are the most popular bodybuilders? And I'm not talking about like Mr. Olympias or anything like that. The most popular bodybuilders are always the freaks, the biggest, the hardest, the freakiest bodybuilder. That's typically the most popular. I mean. You had Marcus Rule from Germany, who was just gigantic. Big Ramy is obviously big. Rolly Winkler. All those guys are big, and they have fans all over the world. People that are trying, they take bodybuilding just because they have the idols, so to speak. But then you have, and again, it's not even criticism, but like when it comes to vegetarians, like you said, they all have their own reasons for not eating meat. And I respect that because, everybody is entitled to do whatever they want. Mm-hmm. But bodybuilding, at the end of the day, it is about like, I mean, what is the most common thing that you will hear about bodybuilding? It's working out, eating a lot of meat. That's like very, very typical to pack on as much size as you can. And anabolic steroids. I mean, those are the three things that usually come up with bodybuilding because, even if you don't choose to do what they do, but those are the three things. But then lately, especially in the last couple of years, I see a lot of bodybuilding fans and bodybuilders saying, in their profile or something like that, I'm a vegetarian, they emphasizing it, but the way they say it, it almost seems like they're judging those that are not. Very often it comes off that way. Or you will see a guy saying, I'm all natural, drug-free, all natty or whatever. Like they emphasize that as to criticize. But then again, you're looking up to the freaks who are not. You're buying tickets to the Olympia or, buying, pay-per-views because you want to see the freakiest, the biggest guys. And I noticed even... those are the guys that are always getting the most publicity. Those are the guys who are more in demand for guest posing. Mm-hmm. Those are the guys that everybody wants to see. So, I think it would be a very, very interesting topic to once just discuss, the benefits or, vegans versus, more traditional meat eating, and, what is behind it and pros and cons, so to speak. But it is a very interesting topic.
Agreed. All right, next from the list of questions that we had last week. Robbie, will Double Impact ever come back?
Maybe, I don't know. Especially with everything that's going on in the industry, like I said, I'm very, very, very much like hesitant to say anything because with Assassin, clearly, we are behind about 6 weeks. So with Double Impact, it was never intention to have it as a regular Apollon pre-workout.
Yeah.
But I think there is a very, very good chance that it will make an appearance sometime, maybe soon. Definitely not rolling it out of the question, but I'm not willing to commit.
Okay. This is one I feel like Robbie could go off on for a day and a half. Does it matter where supplements are manufactured and why nobody discloses that info?
I think, you know what, like when you go, for example, to Russia, it's very, very common, and not just supplements, but pretty much almost in any industry, it will say sometimes on the label, like manufactured by for, Lukasz is obviously very familiar with it. I'm sure that in Poland, probably not a big deal to know where it's manufactured.
Yeah.
I think it gives you credibility. Honestly, I think it gives you credibility where you manufacture. You don't have to disclose it. I think it's a personal choice. I'm not against it one way or the other. I'm always like a little bit surprised where people go like, oh, I can't tell you where I manufacture. Why not? I'm more than willing to say where I manufacture. I'm kind of proud of it. I'm more embarrassed where I used to manufacture, which I'm also willing to always disclose and the reasons why I left those manufacturers. As to number one, because I'm proud that I no longer work with people that either cheat or scammers or under those products. I mean, we know there are those manufacturers that exist that are, violating those, rules, or, they're not about integrity. They're not about like quality. And I think it's very important because I think that, like us within the industry, we know some very, very shady manufacturers. We do. So if somebody gives you a container and says, you know what, it's manufactured by that manufacturer, you're going to be hesitant to take it because the trust is just not there. So I think that I'm not saying it should be, law or rule that, you have to disclose, but I don't think that the company should be hiding where they're manufacturing. I think that, if you really have a good product, be proud of it.
Yeah.
On top of that, I would like to add that it's good to check up with other people in the industry, and just if you're going with one manufacturer, just like ask questions before like doing any business or anything like that. Plus, always demand samples and those kind of things, but at the same time be smart about who you're working with, and as Robbie said, you learn on your own mistakes. So yeah.
Agreed. Okay, another bonfire topic. How corrupted is the supplements industry?
Just look at me. You got your answer.
I think we just answered pretty much, with the first question, because you know what? I mean, to play devil's advocate, I think that most industries are corrupted. I think, it's just that it happens to be that we are part of this one. So, we can see the ins and outs, and some of them are absolutely disgusting. But I think, every business, every industry, I worked in maybe 2 or 3 industries prior to the supplement industry, and I've seen things that are really, really are bad. I mean, especially I can only imagine what's going on in food industry. But if the question is only about supplement industry, it's very corrupted. I mean, ranging from manufacturers to brands, to review channels, to sales reps, to even retailer stores. I mean, it's extremely corrupted. For a buck, they're willing to do pretty much anything.
You're not hinting that review channels get paid to do positive reviews, are you, Robbie?
Oh, not at all. Not at all. You know what? It's funny because just today, I got a message from a friend. He's a retailer in Australia, and on a certain channel, he saw a top 3, I think, pre-workouts or something like that. To be honest with you, I don't even know what top three pre-workouts are there. I mean, I didn't look it up, but he told me that he saw the list of the top three pre-workouts, something middle of the year or something like that. I don't know what it was. And he goes to me, he says, it's absolutely disgusting. I don't know which pre-workouts he was talking about. He just sent me a message, and he goes to me that he actually questioned the channel about it, because he goes like, what the fuck? There are so many good releases. How these are top three based on what? And, he asked me, and I was like, without even looking what they are, we all know based on what. I mean, listen, it's not a secret anymore. Yep. I think that just recently, and I got a lot of messages about it when I saw Amfit, post that they selling the protein or something like for $20 or $50 or something.
Yeah, that was the link I sent you the picture of it. Their mass gainer for like $10. For like $10,
$9.95. I mean, it's pretty good quality. I mean, you can't say that I think it's isolate. It's pretty loaded. It's a huge container. So for
we went through a whole tub of it here.
Yeah, for $10, it's an absolute steal. But that's a brand. Amfit was a brand 2 years ago. That Price Plow called new brand of the year. They had Guy Cisternino, they had Steve Lorius. I know they had a financial backing because it's owned by a giant pharmaceutical company out of China. So the company is done. I mean, they gone. But somehow, breakthrough company of the year, just because they paid Price Plow, they were announced best brand, new brand of the year, which obviously was not true. So, I mean, it's basically you can buy yourself a title, you can buy yourself best pre-workout or best whatever of the year. And yes, there are those channels that will probably have it on a menu, just like you go to a restaurant. You just have to pay for it and you're going to get it. And if somebody's going to pay more, then he's going to get it. It's not fair. But I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. You know why? Because by now, everybody knows the truth. Yeah. So I don't think that anyone is taking it seriously. If it was taken seriously, then yes, it's a problem. But, and it's not just because Shane is part of the Final Scoop, but when you have things like, the expo that he has right now, which I think is a phenomenal and very, very original idea.
Yes.
Yep. I think it's absolutely amazing. It helps the industry, so Babyface did right. I mean, he really, despite eating vegetables, he's actually a very bright mind, and his reviews are spot on. And I think, if we have somebody like that within the industry, and Shane is not the only one, there are a couple of very, very good ones. But if we have somebody like that, then those negative, people that are profiting from the industry, doing shady shit, those paper review channels. You know what? I mean, you can see me like a year ago, I would go off and I would be very, very angry about it. I'm not. And the reason is because I actually take pride in it in a way, because I think I helped expose them as well and kind of like open people's eyes. Let them do what they do. I think the credibility is going down, and it's a dirty part of the industry, but it's a dirty part, I think, of any industry. So we just have to take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah, humans are inherently flawed. Anything that is run, organized, structured by humans is going to have its downside. So there's going to be corruption. There's going to be bad things. The Catholic Church, something that is supposed to be, instill good morality, there's been horrible stuff in the Catholic Church. There's been horrible stuff in every other religious practice, of course. Everything that has involvement of humans will have its bad spots. There's also very good spots. Shane's one of the great things about the industry. Apollon Nutrition is a great thing about the industry. There's tons of good companies. Ghost is a good company. Morphogen, Inspired Nutri. There are so many great companies out there. We want to recognize the bad to help you guys avoid it, but we don't want to always just focus on the bad, because there are so many great things out there. And that's, part of the reason I started the podcast was to highlight the good stuff and steer people away from the bad things. So we get mired down in a lot of the bullshit of the industry and the negative aspects, but always try to find, I think that's something that Shane's always really good about, is always kind of bringing us back to center. Cause we can kind of get, maybe me and Robbie tend to get a little bit more amped up and, like to knock shit down and break it down. And I think Lukasz is the eternal optimist. He's always looking for something new to try, find. He's the biggest supplement fan I've ever seen of anybody. He gets excited by new ingredients like nobody's business. You always want to try it. And I think Shane does a phenomenal job of always finding like the positive light or something, or helping us maybe approach it from a different aspect. Maybe it's because you live below the equator and we're all above the equator over here. So maybe that's it too. It's just your internal wiring is different than ours.
Well, the toilet water spins the other way, remember?
I know, it's crazy. I don't know how you guys put up with that.
The one thing I'd note though is that the only downside to having a downside is that it doesn't take much for you to notice that. Like if you went to the same restaurant every day for the whole year and you were like, this is great, best, it's pretty good food. Not the greatest, it's just average. But then you had one day where you went and it made you shit yourself on the way out. Right? You're just walking and you shit your pants. You're like, well, fuck, I'm not going there again.
Yep.
You're almost going to lose all 365 days of trust with one.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, that's the bad part about the supplement industry is that people will say shit like creatine does this, caffeine does this, all these great ingredients and supplements, but then someone puts drugs in their shit and then people just go, well, no, I don't want to take supplements because there's drugs in there. But they just heard one story.
Right.
And it works with a lot of things. Like people, I think I brought it up here before. Someone asked me, he said, why did you share this story? And I said, oh, it's a great new product. It's cool that they released it. And he's just like, oh, they paid you. And I was like, no, they didn't pay me. And he's like, of course they paid you. You're like the biggest news source and they're one of the biggest brands. And I was like, no, they didn't pay me. He's like, I refuse to believe that. And it's not necessarily like, it sounds like I could have probably shown him my bank statement and he still wouldn't have fucking believed me. But the thing is like, it's not necessarily his fault. It just means that he's seen too many times where people have paid and he just can't believe it because it's just so unlikely.
Right.
And that's, I guess, the downside of having some corruption is it makes it harder for people who aren't necessarily doing those sorts of things.
Correct.
Like, seem like they're not.
Yeah.
So you kind of have to go out of your way to like, like when you have a bad meal and then they say, oh, look, it was a mistake. We're going to give you a voucher. You can have a free meal or something. So you got to try and go out of your way to make it seem like, it's just the odd one that's bad, not everyone. That would be the only down part.
I think that Shane nailed it. I mean, like, it's a great point because the thing is that you know what? I guess it's a confession time. Before I knew who Shane was, before I even talked to him or anything like that, to be honest with you, I thought, because again, disclaimer, I didn't know who Shane was. I only heard about Stack. But honestly, like for me, I thought of Stack as probably on the same level as the other channel. Because just guilty by association, well, not even by association, but being in the same industry. So just like that guy who, assumed or accused Shane of, getting paid, I would probably assume the same thing. Not probably, most definitely I would assume this. Now, knowing Shane for so long, talking to him on a weekly basis, whether it's, here or we talk on the phone or we message each other, I know that it's absolutely not true. But the thing is that, and this is probably the saddest thing about industry, because when somebody comes in, if somebody is a scumbag and, gets paid to lie, then whoever is in that industry or does similar thing, reports news or stuff like that, then it's inevitable that, that they're going to think of you the same way or assume that, you're doing the same thing, especially considering that Stack is definitely the biggest platform in the supplement industry. So people would make assumption without getting to know the person behind it, and how the site operates. And it is very, very, very unfortunate. But at the same time, I think what Robert said is also spot on. We have to, maybe, like I said, after a year or so of us doing this, I'm still aggressive, but I'm not aggressive in regard like I was before, just because I came to accept that the bet is not going to go anywhere. It's going to be there. It's going to stay. Just like maybe being naive, I assumed that proprietary blends and all that crap that was, predominantly on the market years ago, I honestly thought, when Jim Stepani started the whole thing, and companies like Morphogen and Apollon, and I honestly thought that we're going to defeat them and they're going to be the thing of the past.
Yeah.
But just recently, a certain supplement owner he actually told me that although he has fully disclosed label, he's considering changing to proprietary blend because, in his words, he wants to protect the formula. I mean, clearly I disagree. Clearly, I will never be convinced of that. To me, proprietary blend is always going to be a scam and a way to cut cost. I mean, nobody will be able to convince me otherwise ever. I wouldn't even get into that discussion. But the bottom line is proprietary blends are not going anywhere. They will be present in some capacity. But I think, because I'm not just a supplement owner and, you're not just, people from the industry, but what we are doing here, it is our kind of responsibility, I guess, or, I will still come down on those companies. I will still criticize them. I will still point out because I think that's the right thing to do. But at the same time, I know I'm not going to win the battle. If I can win a fight, I'll be very, very happy. But to win the war, I don't think it's possible because, we had Nazis and, and then now we have Taliban. Bad people, bad organizations, bad seats. They will never go away. It's just part of life. And there is nothing you can do. We can point it out, but at the
you
same time...
You conveniently left out your brethren, the commies. That was convenient.
It's convenient, right? But the thing is like what you said, you were right. We can focus on doing what we do, which is like, just doing the right thing, and that's it. But at the same time, just balancing it out. But in terms of industry being corrupted, just like any other industry.
Yeah. Kuntal, would love to hear more about that. Can you be a little bit more specific? We touched on a couple of things with your initial response. Kuntal, what would you like to hear more about? And we can definitely address it further or save it for next week's episode or something. Sean, cupping is all about the release.
Everything is about the release.
Sean, you need to get laid.
Well, he's older than us. Is all his plumbing work and everything? Want to make sure he's still healthy and safe?
I'm just pointing.
Wait, is he? How old is he?
He's older than us.
Are you saying Robic as well?
I think so. I think Sean's older than Robbie.
I mean, he looks 70, but I don't know. I love you, Sean. Sorry.
Timothy, happy Saturday. Great info as always. Thank you for watching, Timothy. We appreciate it, sir.
Thanks a lot.
Fitness Informant did the first quarter awards.
Oops.
There we go. Okay.
I did that.
First quarter.
Yeah.
First quarter awards.
Is that like January to March or something?
Yeah.
It's usually what a quarter is. It's usually the fourth of the year.
Yeah, but aren't we?
Yeah, I know, but we're almost in the third.
Yeah, we are.
Is it first quarter or first half?
I think this is the first half, but maybe it's first quarter. I don't know.
I think it was the half of the year. First half of the year.
Half would make sense.
Brooke, I checked out the Expo, Shane. Very well done. I liked it a lot. It is cool to get the insight on the new releases. Shane, don't let your head get too big. You're allowed one compliment a show. And you've had two this time.
Yeah, she said we're beautiful.
I know.
So many chicks at the Expo, man. So good.
Got so many fit chicks at the Stack3D Expo.
I need to go old school and have it so that like on your cursor on your mouse there's like a naked chick just dancing on top of it. Like you know how like those old websites used to have like little logos? We just have like a just a chick, just animated GIF, just replaying.
Get the Bang Girls, like the VPX Bang Girls, just have that like a little video of that streaming on the side of the whole Stack3D Expo.
I thought about doing background music and I was like, don't do it. Like just as like part of like that traditional supplement expo, just so when you enter the site, you're just sitting there on the train or on the bus or taking a shit and then it just boom, this music just blows out and you just lose your shit. I was like, nah, don't do that. That's dumb. As cool as it would be and funny, it's a bit cliche.
Yeah. Will the Apollon sleep formula be caps or powder?
Well, you know, dealing with Robert and fucking his ingredients when he piles up so much shit, that would be like 150 capsules, so it's gonna be powder.
Assuming we can get it to taste decently, then yeah. If not, we'll do caps and we'll just cut some ingredients or dosages or something.
Don't cut anything.
Yeah, don't cut anything. What's wrong with you?
Now he's lying.
You know what? When it comes to like sleep powder,
You doesn't even taste good.
I
It's sleep.
personally always go with the powder instead of caps. So yeah, don't do that.
Yeah, I mean, we're always going to say that. Don't cut anything.
Yeah, don't cut anything.
That's just the motto for life.
If you don't like the flavor,
Come
leave
on.
the flavor.
Robert is full of shit. He's not gonna cut. He's just gonna add.
Remember what Grandpa TJ used to say: "Fuck your flavor."
Yeah.
Bogdan. Is he
Oh,
saying Bogdan
yeah.
or Bogdan? What's the proper way to say this? I don't want to
I think
butcher his name.
I know that in Ukraine the name was pretty popular, but it was Bogdan.
Yeah,
Bogdan.
okay.
Yeah.
How do you pronounce the last name?
Didn't you?
Stingachu.
It sounds like Bogdan is Romanian, I think.
Okay. Thoughts on dedicated nutrition? Want to give Vaso Drive AP a try? Well, first off, I love Vaso Drive AP as an ingredient.
Anything from New Dedicated is good. I will say that.
And
They
their
were
Vaso
brand
Drive
of the
caught my eye.
they were brand of the year winner back in 2016.
That's what he said. That's exactly what he said.
They don't. I mean, they're pretty fucking.
Good job, guys. You called it Romanian. Outstanding.
Man,
Okay.
formulas are loaded, and
Yeah, it's among my favorite companies too. So yeah.
Yeah, they're solid. The rock bars they did are phenomenal.
Oh man.
So
not many people know, but Dedicated is a Canadian brand, not US or European. So
Yeah, we know, but like, see, this is fucking Etienne said that to me. He's like, oh, it's a Canadian brand. I was like, yeah, but see, my argument there is, look, you became popular in Europe, right? Became popular in Europe. You were available in Europe, wider than anywhere else. I would say European brand, and no one really complained anyway.
When I speak with Uncle, I always say, I need to give a shout out to Canada. So yeah, man.
Oh yeah, you have to when you're talking to him, you say, oh yeah, Canadian brand. Yeah, my bad.
Yeah, it's Canada.
But anyone that asks, because it wasn't even in Canada before Europe, was it?
No,
Yeah. See,
it first got launched in Europe. That was like a big hit, and then
because I remember he said to me, "It's like it's a Canadian brand." I'm like, "Excuse me for being confused when you launched the entire continent of Europe, but not fucking Canada."
yeah.
But
I
solid
guess
brand.
it's something like. Does anybody think Muscle Tech's a Canadian brand? No, but they're in
No.
Canada too.
Hell
They're in
no,
Canada. So
hell no.
Poor Canada, getting their shit stolen from them.
I don't know.
Yeah, so many good brands out there, to be honest.
Let me see what's in the actual Vaso growth formula from Dedicated Nutrition.
I'm trying to remember which one.
Is the ultimate
The newest
highest
one?
dose 24/7 nitrate-based muscle builder on the planet. Uh-oh.
Yeah, this
Hell
is interesting. I thought this was interesting that they took that approach on this. It's the old school BSN Nitrix pump approach. Like it was pumps 24/7, not like just for your workout. It's like something you take. It reminds me a lot of one of Morphogen's ones. They do like a blood flow
Yeah.
24-hour thing. This is kind of...
You take a serving in the morning and serving.
Yeah, but did you notice? Very interesting. The Vasogro is it's Vasodrive is 267. I've never seen 267.
No, it's usually 254 or
Yeah,
508.
it's usually 254. That's very interesting dose.
Yeah, but it's,
I mean, maybe that's as much as
you
they
take
could
a,
fit in there within the confines of their pricing or capsule size or something.
You take it twice a day as well, don't you?
Yeah,
Yeah, 4 capsules. There's 50
morning
servings per
and-
container.
before bed. Yeah.
This was the interesting thing on this one as well, that they outlined the nitrate. That was one of the first products I've seen that actually outlines the precise breakdown.
Yeah. Well, it's in Europe, so I think they have to.
Nope.
No, I don't think so.
You don't have to.
Oh, you
They've
don't?
they had a nitrate in another product and didn't do it.
Okay.
This was one of the first ones, and I was like, damn.
Yeah, I mean, this is a super, super solid, well-dosed product. I'd
On
definitely be
point.
up for trying this one.
Really good.
I still wanted a pump pre, because I know this isn't necessarily intended to be that, but when they did, was it Unbreakable, Unstoppable, and
Unbeatable.
Unbeatable, yeah, and they had set it up to be like performance, pump, and pre.
Yeah.
Still to this day, I would like to see that stack come to life. Maybe when the world opens up, Etienne can get onto it.
Maybe so. Maybe so.
I'll work on that.
Okay. Here we go. Why the hate on S7?
I think that's for you.
It's definitely for you.
It's a dog shit ingredient. Number one. Do you remember who sent this to you, Robbie? I pulled this from the list of questions that you sent me last week.
Why do I want to say it's fuck. I have to look it up, but I think it's actually a friend of mine who owns a supplement store.
Okay.
Because that had to do, I don't know if I should say it, but I think it had to do with Dragon Pharma. I think because we were talking about the pre-workout, and he was asking me what I think about it. I was like, it looks okay to me. I mean, I'm not super impressed, but at the same time, I think it looks fairly good. Mm-hmm. And I think S7 is in there. I said, well, except probably S7. And he goes to me, he says, your friend Robert hates it. So he goes, why the hate on S7? I think that was it.
Okay, so this is an example of where you take an ingredient that might be beneficial, might be, and there's founded by one study, and it's a dog shit study. The results of the study got massively overblown by the companies, both Futureceuticals and the supplement companies that were putting it in their products. They were saying 230% increase in nitric oxide production. No, that's not what the study said. There were a total of 8 people in the entire study. 8 people, that's it. So it was a double-blinded, placebo-controlled crossover study. So they had the people that had half the people take it, then they gave them a break, and then the people that didn't take it the first time took it, and then the other people took a placebo. It did show improvements in nitric oxide production. However, this isn't some novel mechanism or anything like that. There's nothing special to S7. It's 50 milligrams of broccoli powder and a bunch of other little shit. And I've got the study pulled up here. A lot of this polyphenols boosting blood flow is a very viable mechanism. Reduces reactive oxygen species in the body, combats free radicals, increases endothelial nitric oxide synthase, improves blood flow. I mean, this is why things like grapeseed extract work well, pomegranate, Vaso 6, Cardio 6, all of those things. That's why they work. It's these polyphenols that are naturally occurring in there. It's the fact that these things, the results of this study were so overblown, and the companies were trying to highlight this as it's like God's gift to pump supplements, saying 230% nitric oxide, powerful pumps, skin-splitting pumps, blah, blah, blah. There's no way this is more powerful than 6 grams of citrulline or 1.5 grams of nitrosogene. It just doesn't work that way. So you want to see what's actually in the little 50 milligrams of broccoli powder that you're getting here. You're getting 13.2 milligrams of chlorogenic acids, which you can get from black coffee, 18.4 milligrams of catechins, which are in green tea, 9.2 grams of EGCG, 1.7 milligrams of caffeine, anthocyanins, 52.5, which you're going to find in the dark-colored fruits like pomegranate, blueberries, blackberries, all that stuff. Trigonelin, curcumin, 2.1 milligrams of that, and so total polyphenols, 34.4. Not a ton. So, I mean, you're going to get more overall, I think, from 300, 600 milligrams of Vaso 6 or grapeseed extract or pomegranate extract. Any of those. I hate the way this was marketed. I cannot stand the way it was blown out of proportion. It's a dog shit ingredient and backed by an even shittier study. 8 subjects is not enough to quantify anything, in my opinion. And the metrics they were using, it wasn't performed on people that were training, it wasn't exercise individuals or anything. So to think that it's going to improve exercise, you can't say it's going to boost endurance and do all of that stuff. It's an extrapolation of a shitty study. So that's why I hate S7.
Well, that was nice.
Yeah.
Amen.
So, yeah. All right.
I took it, but I mean, I just didn't really.
Right, and there's so many people that like you go on some of the forums and you say, "Oh, it's F7 is this revolutionary ingredient. I can definitely see it's working." When it's in a pump formula with 8 other pump ingredients, so you've got glycerol, taurine, citrulline, nitrosamine, agmatine. When you've got all these other things in there and you add 50 milligrams of S7, you really noticing if S7's doing the work there? No, not even close. Oh man, I'm feisty today. I apologize, gentlemen.
Well, you started off a bit feisty, so
Yeah, I
you kind of
apologize.
set the tone. It's the feistiest I've ever seen you, so that's good.
Yeah, I don't enjoy being like that. I like being, the cool, mild-mannered individual.
I mean, steady with the word cool, but we'll just
Cool for an ingredient nerd. Cool for an ingredient nerd. We'll put it that way. Is there anything special planned for the Final Scoop anniversary? That's next week, gentlemen. What are we doing?
It is.
We got to figure. We haven't figured out what we're doing yet. So I guess that's the first thing. We don't know what we're doing yet.
Well, I'm limited on what I can do. I'm waking up at 6 in the morning.
Yeah.
So if we want to eat, I'm literally gonna have to go and drive to get it. Wait, hold on. Wait till maybe I'll see what's on Uber Eats. I don't know. I don't think anything opens at fucking 6. It's ridiculous time on
They
a
don't have,
Sunday morning.
24-hour diners or anything down there.
This ain't America, bro. This is.
It's the old country.
Yeah, man. I remember when I met Chris from Inspired once, and he saw my phone, and my phone's legit, right? I buy Android phone, and he said, "Oh, don't they have iPhones in New Zealand?" I was like, dude, I understand. I mean, I'm not a fan of iPhones, but he obviously thought that New Zealand was so far away that we don't get fucking phones. And I'm like, dude, this isn't this. What do you think this is?
No, you're still using like the old Zach Morris phone.
Yeah, let me get my Nokia.
Big old bulky Nokia thing with the black that's sticking way out there.
I had a legit like upmarket Android phone, and he whips out that. I was like, I don't know if it was a knock on his like idea of anything outside of an iPhone, but the fact that he related it to where I was from, I thought it was hilarious. Yeah. I mean, yes, but we get movies before a lot of other countries. Like we got Fast and Furious 9 this week.
Did you watch it?
I did.
Did you give it 2 thumbs up? Did you lose your balls to it?
Look, I'll give a short review without giving a full review.
Okay.
Spoiler.
When you go to watch Fast and the Furious, you want to lose your balls, right? That's what you're going there for.
Yeah.
And you have to forget some physics and rules and reality to watch this, right? Because when I took my wife for the first time, I think it's Fast and Furious 6 or 7, the one where they're on the runway and they're trying to board the plane.
Yeah.
And they're boarding this plane for like 10, 15 minutes, right? And you're watching this and my wife goes, this runway is fucking long. And I was like, oh yeah, they've been driving straight down this runway for 15 minutes. They should have hit the fucking end. And then it blows up and then the plane is at the end. And I'm like, well, that's convenient. I feel like this runway was longer than it was meant to be. Anyway, so you have to forget these things. In this movie, I'm pretty out there, right? I can forget some reality. They probably pushed it a bit too far.
Right.
Like, a bit too far to the point, like, when you walk in the fine line of reality and stupidity, you can't tip over, because then it just seems dumb.
Right.
They were on the other side. They were on the dumb side a bit too much. Yeah. And I think they were doing it too often, that you could probably go into this movie and be like, well, this is just strange. Yeah. But yeah, I liked it. It's not my favorite of the series, but I don't regret it. Yeah. But they definitely pushed it a bit.
I love action movies. They're one of my favorite genres to watch. Sandy and I have been going back and watching old 80s and 90s action movies as of late. So last week we watched Face Off and we watched the original Speed. You want to see somebody stretch the limits of like physics and stuff? You see the bus fly off the ramp and land. And
okay,
Like you mentioned, like driving on like a runway forever. They do that in Speed. You're thinking they should have run.
No, but he turns around. He turns around.
You think, but then they're also bleeding gasoline the whole time. You thought you probably should have drained that tank by now, considering you've already been driving for 2.5 hours at 55 miles an hour.
Okay, but you've seen the trailer for Fast and Furious 9, right?
Yeah.
He drives off a cliff, turns the wheel, and catches a rope on his tire, and then it slingshots him up to the top of the. Yeah. That's like the first 30 minutes. Okay, that's not even the most outrageous thing that happens. Okay.
Yeah.
And the thing is when they set the tone with that, and you're like, that's a bit unreal. You're then going to be open to everything else that's unreal in this entire movie.
Right.
And me and my wife sat there afterwards, and we're like, well, this was not right. Well, this wasn't right. And we're like, we're picking holes in something that obviously doesn't care.
Right.
But yeah, it's fun.
That's all. That's what movies are supposed to be. I don't need social commentary.
I'll tell you what, Fast and Furious.
Give me some entertainment. Fast
and Furious 9 makes Speed look like a fucking Discovery show. Okay.
I think that the reason why Speed was a little bit more accepted was the fact that it was just like, I mean, they had the part 2, which was horrible, but the first one, it was what it was, so we accepted it as such. It's the same thing as John Wick. I mean, if you try to break it like, bit by bit, then you realize, okay, this is ridiculous. But because from the get-go, it doesn't hide what the movie is. It just gives it to you, well, take it or leave it. This is what we are presenting you with. Right. And I think, that audience is accepting it. And then you have like, okay, you know what? John Wick is John Wick. No problem with that. Speed is Speed. No problem with that. Die Hard, especially the first 3, they were basically like, they were pretty much the same movie, and everybody loved the concept. Right. I think that, and it's funny because, Shane brought it up about Fast and Furious. We just had a discussion about it a few days ago, and I said, I'm not looking forward to number 9. And everybody went like, what do you mean? I was like, well, the thing is it's not Fast and Furious anymore. It's not. If you go back and you watch the very first one, it was a completely different concept. It was a completely different movie. And the way it was presented, people fell in love with it. And then you had like number 2, number 3, somewhere around 4th, 5th, they started to kind of like change. And I'm not saying for the worse or whatever, but they started to change the concept completely. And with each and every one, it was more ridiculous and more ridiculous and more ridiculous. And I think I do have, it's not to sound boring, but I have a problem with that because, Fast and Furious right now, it kind of like it's more like James Bond meets Mission Impossible. That's what it is today. Like when we see James Bond, he's about to die, but he survives. Or Tom Cruise jumps from one plane to another plane or something like that. It's totally cool because we accept it. That's what those movies represent. Now, when you see Fast and Furious, like, okay, hold on a second. Like, the first movie was completely different concept. You evolved with times, like maybe to get more audiences. And again, I'm just being stupid right now because clearly they're super, super, super successful. So who am I to say otherwise? And people accept it. But, I haven't seen 9, but I know that I'm going to like it. If I'm going to check my brain outside the theater, definitely...
You might not like it.
I might like it. But at the end of the day, I was like, I know that I'm not going to enjoy it as much as I used to enjoy the first few.
Yeah.
Well,
it went too far. It went too far.
If you remember the first 3, they did the 3 and then they stopped.
Yeah.
And then it was like, it was done. And then I think maybe it wasn't doing as well. And they did the 4th, and that's when they brought in the whole action spy.
Turning like a super spy. Like I have a hard time believing Street Racers morph into like the super spy team overnight.
That's the thing though. Like that part is like the James Bond thing and the speed thing. Like it's believable to the point where it's like, okay, I can get past that. But when you start like some of the shit they do in this, and you're just like, no. Look, I'm dumb, but I ain't that
It's
dumb.
just that it gets
okay?
silly.
Exactly, but my point is, you would accept it in a different movie, in a different setting. You know, like when you see superheroes or stuff like that, you know, and you expect that they're gonna do shit that is obviously not realistic, but it's totally acceptable to you. Over here, that's the reason why you reacted that way, and I 100% agree with you. You like pause for a second, like you said, you go like, okay, too far.
When you watch it, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about.
Oh,
And you go- See, superheroes are believable as well, because it's like, okay, he's a hero, okay, so he can do anything. But this is a car and a man, okay? There's nothing else to it. You can't do that. You definitely can't do some of that shit.
You know, maybe if they're gonna release, like, you know, I mean, I know that they're about to finish the franchise, but if they're gonna continue, the only thing that came to mind because of our podcast today, the only thing is like one car is gonna do cupping for the other car. That's the only thing left to do.
I thought they were doing one or two more.
Yeah, they're doing 10 and 11, and I think they're filming them back to back or simultaneously, and then they're gonna. And that'll be it.
I thought they were stopping at 10. They want to do 11?
No,
I think they
said
have it like a
10,
two-parter series or something.
Christ.
It's like a
10 and
A and B.
10.5.
Oh,
I mean, as dumb as it sounds, I mean, you can't argue with $1 billion, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, honestly,
how much longer you can build this cow? Jesus Christ.
I'm not gonna lie, as dumb as it is, like at some of the parts, if you told me, like, look, you make this movie, you'll times your money by 5, and I'd be like, well, I'm just gonna make it fucking dumber then, right? Because it worked before. Keep working. Yeah. And then the excitement of the last two, people will probably pay twice as much to see because it's the last one.
Correct.
It reminds me of our industry. Extreme, hardcore.
Yeah, man.
Ultra hardcore.
Just wait in another 5 years, Shane. By 2025, they're going to reboot Fast and Furious with a whole new cast, probably, because Hollywood is out of original ideas. They're just going to be rebooting and rehashing old ideas. But they're going to do something revolutionary, make it with like an all-female cast and a guy who feels bad about himself.
Or they'll make it like
woke with everything.
Super like emo and like grungy, and they'll have extra emotions and dark contrast, and the cars will be, I don't know, all black and white.
Eco-friendly. They'll be battery-powered. Eco-friendly.
Well, they say that The Rock and Vin Diesel, they don't have the greatest relationship, and I think
because he's not. That pissed me off, man. I know that. I remember reading about it, but I was like,
what's that?
Fuck. Because that's why The Rock went out and did that one with Jason Statham, that spin-off movie.
Yeah.
And then it was like on social media about like, someone said something about splitting up the family or some shit. I don't know. And I think Vin Diesel and The Rock also had something on set. I don't know the details of it, but they know they don't like each other that much.
Yeah.
And since Fast and the Furious is Vin Diesel's, he's not in this, The Rock's not in this one.
Right.
I'm pretty sure, I don't know if he was in the last one either. But I was like, the fuck, man? And Fast and the Furious 5 or 6, I'm pretty sure it's 5. He was the one that really, really, really revitalized it. Because when they brought it back after the break, he wasn't in it. That was number 4, and then number 5, The Rock was in it, and then everyone was like, "Fuck yeah, juice! Yeah. This is the shit." And he just brought it way up, and now they took him out. Yeah, man. I need some of that Zoa.
I bought 4 cans. Shane, they have them here at the grocery store. I bought all 4 of them. We're going to review that this coming week. Me and Sandy are on our Thursday live chats.
I wanted you to open it. I wanted you to open it and drink it right now.
Can't, man. I'm going to save it.
If you're saving it, you're saving it. You don't want to buy another one. Trust me.
We got all 4 flavors, so there's 3 that are fully sugared and 1 that's sugar-free, so it'll be interesting.
No, there's nothing. Bullshit.
There's 5 flavors, isn't there?
Our store only had 4 that I could find.
Oh, man, they sold out. God damn.
Maybe so.
I never got the sugar version. I refuse to have that many carbs in a day.
Well, we were going to make a crack about that. We probably still will.
Every time I'm going on Facebook, there's like a ad that says that, it was rated by like, another like top magazine or something and it's like 5 stars or something. I'm like, come on, guys.
That was kind of like what Robert said. He said that like you couldn't tell if people were saying nice things because it's The Rock, right?
Yeah.
Because I mean, if he retweets or even just likes your shit,
Yeah.
damn, that's cupping, right?
That's a good release.
That's copying with outcome.
Oh yeah, that's a dude. That's a guy I wouldn't mind cupping. Okay,
Bro, that's a great analogy.
That is, but like that's why you might feel that people would like. But
You feel the outcome.
It's a risk though to like say something nice in the chance that he retweets you or whatever. But I was like, I don't understand how anyone could have said it was. I still don't understand how anyone could have said it was nice. I don't know. If you were completely basing it on the ingredients, maybe you could say that it's a little bit different, but it's not. I didn't think that the ingredients were too different from anything else out there. They just marketed it in a different way. Like a lot of the core ingredients were similar to other beverages. They would say it's a health and wellness, immune support thing, but they don't really have too much outside of some other stuff. So I was sort of
But here's the thing: like when you drink Monster, right? For example, pretty much every flavor is a good flavor. Pretty much. I mean, some of them are a little bit more, some of them are a little bit less. It depends on a personal choice. But you can tell that all of them actually taste good. When you drink ZA, and some people perceive that as hate on a brand. I mean, I fucking hate The Rock, but I do hate ZA. I think it's disgusting. Pretty much every flavor, just like he would say Monster, all of them are good. All the flavors of ZA are bad. It's just some of them are not as bad as the other ones, but they're still bad. None of them, like if you compare, you can't even. I think it would be unfair and disrespectful to compare them to Monster or Rain.
No, hell no.
It's just like not comparable. It's completely different. The funny thing is that they both energy drinks, but ZA is really, really bad. So among people that I know, like friends and people that tried, I mean, we talking like even in this group. I try. Lukasz, did you try?
Yeah, I tried to.
Okay, so Lukasz tried, Shane tried, I tried, my daughter tried, which is completely different age group, completely different, taste buds and everything. She likes Doritos, so at the end of the day, 4 people that, an immediate group that tried it, none of them liked it. None of them. So when you're telling me that there are people out there who actually like it, especially who is buying that, Hooligan, not everybody is going to buy. Just like C4, not everybody is going to buy. If you buy ZA, that means you did buy Monster. That does mean that you bought Bang. That means you're in a market for energy drinks. So you have tried good ones. There is no way in hell I will never believe that you're actually enjoying it. So when people are posting this, especially when they post this is the best, I'm sorry, you know what? I'm all about personal opinion, and I would never argue with you if you said, for example, Jim Stepani's pre-workout is better in your opinion than Hooligan. We have no problem. That's your personal opinion. If you say that ZA is the best, you just said to me that it's better than Monster. I'm sorry, but you're full of shit. There is no way. That's just not possible.
Yeah, agreed.
I can't, to be honest. I wouldn't be surprised, much like the lion's mane thing. I would not be surprised because like how people does anyone here like gas water or sparkling water?
I like carbonated water. Yeah.
Yeah, I like it.
It tastes like fucking shit. Okay, I'm telling you right now, it tastes like shit. Like it tastes like salty ass water. Okay.
What do you mean? The sparkling water by itself?
Something like Perrier or something like one of those other things, or
I don't know. It all tastes the same.
Perrier, yeah.
No. Hold on. It doesn't taste the same.
Okay, to me, all the sparkling waters I've had, the gas water specifically, when I was in Germany and they gave me this water, it was a bit different because I obviously expected it to be normal water, not that shit. I think it tastes acidic and horrible, right? That's just me. So I can imagine, because I know some people love that, and then I also know some people love plant-based protein powders for whatever reason. I can see that some people might consider ZA great tasting, but I don't believe the majority would. So if one person comes down and says it's the best, okay, I can maybe. But if any more do, then I'm like, no. There is the chance that someone finds this somehow.
Under that post that the Rock under that post that the Rock made, that they want some kind of a fucking fake ass price plow type of award of the best fucking energy drink. I saw thousands of people.
Yeah.
And the comment is one after another one. This is the best. This is the greatest. And then I get to Steve Calabrese of Natural Body. He is actually there because I guess we are friends on Facebook. He says, this needs to be at Natural Body stores. I couldn't fucking stop laughing. You know, I wanted to comment to his comment. I wanted to say, like, Steve, why would you do that to your customers?
But that's the thing. You want the demand's there. I mean, obviously, they're not necessarily probably going to sell to someone who says it tastes like piss, are they? So you kind of...
Yeah.
It's not like he has to say nice things, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I can see maybe one person. Just yeah.
How did we land here? There was a question about anniversary, and we talked about.
We're talking about Fast and the Furious, and then we stumbled on The Rock, and then we stumbled from The Rock onto Zoa.
That's what I'm saying, man.
And now we're here.
Always circle back.
Yeah, so there's breadcrumbs. We know where we came. There we go.
We laid them just down like Hansel and Gretel. We laid our path.
Yeah, we got it.
Vaso 6
follow
works. Yes, it absolutely does. With bare knuckle, I saw veins in places I didn't know I had veins. Cupping will do that too. You'll find new veins too with cupping. Or just sorry to pump you again.
We were almost out of the woods.
Brooke, $5 donation. Thank you so much, Brooke. You are an all-star. Thanks for keeping me occupied with finishing up some overtime. Donation towards Sandy Sheets and Final Scoop merchandise.
What are Sandy Sheets?
Yes, this was a topic that we discussed Thursday.
Sheets dirty? What did you do?
Lots of cupping.
Not again.
Too much cupping. So we've been needing some new bed sheets for a while now. So we have a set. My uncle gave us a really nice, like super high thread count. It was engraved with our initials. We got them as a wedding present for when we got married.
Oh damn, that's badass.
Yeah, really super. And they were colors like they're purple and gold spread because we went to LSU purple and gold. So it's dark purple sheets and it's got gold embroidering with our initials on it.
That's some intense fucking colors for a bed, I should tell you that.
Yeah, man. It's deep purple. It's like eggplant kind of purple, or purple kind of like my shirt is right now. So
that's almost like, what's his name? Pimp colors.
There we go, man.
Just saying.
Anyway, so people wanted to get some new bed sheets for a while. And Sandy heard an advertisement on the radio for something called Boll and Branch or Ball and Branch sheets. And she said, oh, they're so good. They're supposed to keep you nice and cool because I get very hot when I sleep. I don't know about you guys, but I wake up in like a full flop sweat most nights when I go to sleep. I can't, and then I end up like either going to try to sleep on the sofa or in the guest bedroom just because I need to cool off. I just get really hot. And so she said, oh, well, these are cooling sheets. They wick away the heat and all this stuff. And she says, the guy on the radio said they're the best thing ever. I said, Sandy, the guy on the radio gets paid to say they're the best. And she says, well, that's not true. And so we look up these sheets. And she says, the guy on the radio swears by him and blah, blah, blah. I said, this is how advertising works, honey. This is what advertising is. How much would you be willing to pay for new bed sheets that keep you nice and cool? They're super comfortable. How much would you pay for a set of bed sheets?
Okay, wait. I'm from a different part of the world. Lukasz is from a different part of the world. How much is a regular set of sheets for your size bed? Just
we
so
have a king size bed. Okay, so I'll pull up Amazon right now and I'll look up king size bed sheets. Okay. Now it's going to vary a little bit on the thread count. The higher the thread count, the more expensive it is. Okay.
It's good that I was today at the farmers market, so I have a glimpse overview of the pricing here. But,
yeah.
Okay.
So microfiber 1800 thread count sheets on Amazon, $30. There's another set that is cotton. It is 1500 thread count. It's $150. These other king size sheets are anywhere between, like the most expensive I'm seeing is $150 at this point on Amazon. Everything is between 50 and that.
How much would you typically spend? How much would you spend Or you
I
and
would
Sandy
spend
like-
somewhere in this. Like I'm going. I would probably go maybe upwards of $100 at most.
All in.
Well, I'm going to take a guess and say there's $500 for these sheets.
Close. $300 for bed
Oh,
sheets.
that's not bad.
Let me see if I can find it.
I'm not going to lie. That's,
Might
I mean...
Gold sheet.
I mean, these bed sheets better do some damn fine cupping if I'm going to pay that much.
I was going to say,
Oh.
if it pleases the wife, it might be in your best interest to get these breathing sheets.
You can take the Brook money and spend it on it.
There we go. So, all right, so here we go.
Oh, look at that site. Oh,
You got 10% off.
Look at the serif on the font. Oh my, this is
Signature cloud weight and super soft. This is the one that Sandy was looking at.
This site works better than Stacked.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Look at this. It's incredibly slow. Incredibly slow.
Hem to duvet
There's
set.
no pop-ups. Oh.
All right, come on.
You can choose
Do you
a
have-
clear color.
Do you have an athlete coupon code?
I would like one.
There was a 10%
Let's see.
discount.
Let's see. California King. How much is this? How much is the price?
Wait, do you have a
$268.
That's not 300.
You will get a 10% discount.
Where's the 10%?
$298. There we go. $298 for the.
You get a king.
At the beginning of the site.
What the hell's a split king?
I don't know. But I can also go with the Percal, the linen, the
Wait,
chambray.
okay. What's it? What?
Lux.
what's
Wait,
a
we're
king?
going Lux. We're going Lux.
You could. This is reasonable. I thought you were going to say it's ridiculous. No.
It's $318 for bed sheets. $398 with the duvet set.
Yes, but we have to do this. When was the last time Sandy asked for something special?
I mean, her birthday is Wednesday, and
No. Birthdays don't count. Birthdays don't count. When was the last time she asked for something?
I feel like I
You
need
were
to
like-
bring her in the room for this discussion.
No. Hey, you don't need to look over there. When was the last time you did something outside of an occasion?
Every day I do something special for my wife.
I'm going to take a guess and say you haven't done anything outside of an occasion.
I will get her in here right now, and she will.
Then how come you can't name anything? When did she last
Get
come to you and say,
supplements.
I would like...
Her
I wanna
daily
use-
existence is a gift. Being
Yeah,
married
let's
to
just
me,
say-
being married to
she-
me is her daily gift.
She came to you and was like, look, I want to spend $200 on some new curtains. When was the last time she did something like that and came to you?
Hardly ever, because she doesn't want super expensive things.
Okay, well, there you go. This is a yes. This is a yes moment. This is a hands down. This is an easy decision. It's $200 above what you would usually spend.
Hold on.
I was trying to call to her through the wall because I think she can hear. Sandy, if you can hear me, come on over.
It's $200 extra outside of what you would typically spend. That's well within reason if she asks for one thing every year. That's more. That's very reasonable. I would see a
I'm gonna
problem
go
with
get.
that.
Hold on, I'm going.
Because
to
if you don't get it, then she's gonna be upset or angry or disappointed, and she's not want to come and ask for you for anything anymore. And you want her. You want that trust. Don't be stupid, Robert. Do the right thing. Maybe we should all chip in and just buy the shoes.
Yeah, we should.
Now we know what to get him for his birthday.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, get Sandy a present for something for his birthday.
Maybe we can get like a whispering sheet, like Brooks said.
It's not about the sheet, because I go off the idea that every now and then Nikki might want something, and I'm like, cool. Like I get hundreds of dollars of free supplements. I occasionally buy something cool under the business, but I like that kind of stuff, and it's fortunate that it's business. So I believe that when she wants something odd, that might be a few $100s. That's no problem with that. I just have to see it as much as I would like to see like a new stack of supplements.
You know what?
new
If this
TV
will make her day and make her happy.
Yeah.
So be it.
This is a no-brainer.
Okay,
Robert,
she said
being
she could not come right now. She's putting on makeup because we're heading to the Halfling's birthday bonanza
You're
at the distillery in a little bit.
You've been a tight son of a bitch, and we've all agreed that you need to buy the sheets.
We probably will. And see,
Yeah,
even
that's what
when
I thought.
I said, she says, you do enough nice stuff for me every day. Those words were whispered in my ear as I was walking back.
Those words would fade away if you don't buy these sheets.
See, Brooke understands. I would never be able to sleep. Every swish of the sheets would have for too much money.
Brooke, we answered to your question. What we're gonna do for the anniversary? We're gonna buy sheets.
We're gonna buy sheets. Exactly what we're gonna do.
We'll donate some money and we'll buy some sheets.
Hell yeah!
$5 sheets.
$5 sheets, man. Hey,
Yeah.
I could get a lot of sheets on Amazon for like $28. I mean, yeah.
It's not about the sheets, Robert. It's about doing something. There you go.
I like seeing attitude here.
I'm just telling you.
Shane, you're gonna talk so much shit that at the end Robert's gonna be cupping his own balls.
No, he'll be cupping his own balls if he doesn't buy these sheets. I don't understand. This is a no-brainer. If she asks for something every week or every month, maybe. But he's saying this is like a very rare occasion.
Yeah.
It is.
Easy.
I told I'm totally down for buying them. I think it's an interesting talking point just to get people's. How much would you be willing to spend on a set of sheets? I have no problem
It's
doing
not the
it.
sheets.
That's not going to put us in the poorhouse to buy the sheets. We'd be fine with that. I don't care about spend. I'm just. This is a very curious talking point. Like, how much would you actually spend on sheets? That's
You need to overlook the sheets. It could be sheets. It could be baking goods. It could be anything.
This is fucking bizarre. Went from cupping to flying cars to Zoa to S7 and now to fucking sheets. Whoa,
That's
this
what I'm
is
saying,
weird.
man.
This is weird.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
We're breaking barriers here, Robbie. We're all about inclusivity of diverse topics.
Now
Celebrate
we're
diversity.
definitely game changing.
Oh
Yes.
yeah.
No other supplement channel is talking about sheets.
Next week's
No.
episode, we're ranking the top 5 bed sheets of the first quarter of
Oh
2021.
god.
Like I said, it's not about the sheets. It's about buying what she wants. That's it. Done deal.
Top 5 bed sheets for cupping. That's what we're going to be ranking.
Yeah.
All right, gentlemen. We're going to wrap things up there. I've got to skedaddle.
This was fun.
Yes,
This was
thank
a lot of fun.
you for your time, my friends. I appreciate it. We will celebrate the big 1-year anniversary next week. We'll figure out what in the hell we're going to do because we still haven't. We've been talking about this for a week and a half now. We still have no idea what we're going to do. We're going to figure out something, and we will do it next week. So, listeners tuning in on the live stream, thank you very much for participating in these podcasts every week. If you're catching this on the replay and you listen to this on YouTube or iTunes, feel free to leave us a review, like, comment, subscribe. Email me, thesupplementengineer@gmail.com if you have any questions or topics for a future episode, or send Robbie, Shane, Lukasz a message on some other communication platform of your choosing, or just leave a comment down below, and we will catch you all next time on The Final Scoop.